So the next scene you see here, again, this was a bit of a function of our lack of budget. It would have been nice to show a lot of these things that they're talking about here instead of actually having them talk about it. But again, we didn't have the $1 million, multiple locations, and the time it took to be able to show all of the things that they describe here. So we had to describe them. It's definitely difficult to maintain interest over a scene like this, where you just have talking heads and a fairly neutral background and so forth. Again, I would have to say that was the $600 talking there. I'm hoping that people are into the movie enough at this point to actually want to hear this exposition and then hear what's going on and what they're planning to do and so forth. But it's definitely a big sequence of talking heads. Again, next time, I think probably showing people this stuff instead of telling them. But again, this movie was a first film for all of us. First screenplay I wrote, first movie I've directed, first movie I've edited. These are the first acting jobs that I think most of these characters have done, although they did an amazing job. And yeah, I think that this does tell a story, so it will hopefully give the viewer enough information to be able to stay involved. Because after this, it starts to move a lot more quickly, a lot more action, to the thundering conclusion. When we were filming this, because we were shooting on mini DV, film stock was extremely cheap. We didn't have to worry about using film or having a lot of costs with multiple takes and so forth. We could pretty much film as many takes as we needed in order to get what we wanted, and that worked out great. Because we were working with non-actors, we could just do the particular line or scene 15, 16 times. Very seldom did we have to do that, but we did a few of them several times, and I could just take the very best one. We were talking about how it would be great if life could work like that. If you could do multiple takes of whatever you're doing and pick the best one for that to be your life. If you fail an exam, do another take. If you make a fool of yourself in a job interview, another take, and then just pick the best one, and that's the one we'll go with. And that was kind of our strategy for this movie. Because we were shooting in video, of course there's a bit of a compromise in image quality. Film does look better, but we can do the multiple takes and get the performance we need. So here we are back with Steve, the agent, going into X's apartment to see if he can find any evidence or clues as to what X is up to. And he finds a laptop. We shot all of this in Stefan's apartment. This scene here, Steve walking in, you see a silhouette. He turns on his light, turns on the main light, and then locks the door. That was probably one of the probably took 9 or 10 takes, because I just had a sort of a vision in my head of what that scene would look like, and we finally got it. And I was really happy that we did, and very happy that Steve was patient enough to go through it enough times to get what we needed. Steve was great, great actor, did a great job of the character, very patient. It was great working with him, along with Stefan and Chantel and Riz, and actually everybody. It was just a great team. There's absolutely no way we could have filmed this or could have gotten this done without their patience and ability. This scene here, we shot this at Chantel's brother's place, and a really nice living room. So we had a great background for this conversation between the two of them, where they figure out what X is up to, and it turns out X is going to be at the college the next day for an assassination attempt on a ambassador. So while this conversation is going on, you see X in the elevator, and you see him going toward the door, adding a little bit of suspense to the scene. And Steve has to go because he hears Stefan at the door. Hello? We shot this at night. This coming up is one of my favorite shots in the movie. Shot of Steve he's moved into the bathroom. He's got his guns out, and we sort of slide the camera sideways to see Stefan there. Adds a lot of tension. It's got a good the way the characters look, even the lighting. Stefan had a great idea about the lighting in this scene, and you see sort of his face is half lit up and half dark, giving like a real feeling to the character there. Then we go back to Steve and we see his reaction. Looks like Stefan probably saw him in the bathroom mirror, and so he decides that this is foolhardy. We'll probably both get shot. I'm going to get out of here and do this on my own terms in a better situation. So Steve follows him. We shot these elevator shots. Of course, we have to wait for the elevator to show up, and it would take a while and was often full of people, so it took a little while to get the right shot there. But we finally did. Then we have a contrast between Stefan on the elevator there and Steve rushing down the stairs. And it looks like Steve has got to go down 15 flights of stairs. Stefan makes it first, and Steve follows him out into the alleyway. Now this the back alley brawl is what we call this. It seems like there aren't a lot of people around when we film this. We were able to do the takes so that there weren't people in the alleyway, but this alleyway might as well have been a major thoroughfare. It was like the seawall on a weekend. People walking back and forth, and we had to film around all this, and we had guns, and this was probably one of the most stressful shoots of the entire movie. Just getting, and of course, we're trying to film a fairly complicated fight scene while trying to deal with people walking by, cars wanting to park where we're fighting. But you don't see any people, so it seems like these two are just like fighting it out in the back alley by themselves. This was choreographed by myself and Mike Rudd, a black belt in Aikido, and in fact he's the stunt double in a lot of the fight, the takes in that fight there, and he did another fantastic job. Talented martial artist, great stunt double, good fight choreographer. I mean, it just came together, and I felt that fight scene was pretty good for the first time any of us had ever done this. None of the actors are martial artists. We were basically making it up as we went, and I thought it turned out great. Now here we are at BCIT. Again, BCIT, David Horspool and Ed Bosman and a bunch of the staff there were incredibly helpful with this. They gave us permission. Well, they just basically said, go ahead and do it, don't tell anybody. And so we did. This scene here, Steve fixing his head. I didn't want to have to worry about continuity errors with him being shot in the head and all, so I needed to throw in this quick scene that shows him